Mama's Little Murderer. Directed by Andrew Parks, written by Danik Braun, starring Sarah Koenig as Constance, Isaac Creighton as Anthony, Ian Kilburn as Leo. The first thing we see is Constance finding a note at her house, cabin, wherever they're at, saying that her son Anthony has been kidnapped and being held for ransom. What? Of course, she panics. Then we see Anthony gagged and bounded in the woods somewhere trying to scream, but nobody can hear him. You know how they do with these movies. They'll show the result and then they'll go back and show how we got there. So that's what they did on this one. So now we go 3 weeks earlier. Anthony, he's in school and he got in trouble for getting into a fight or something like that. And he's in some type of boarding school, something like that. It's still high school, but he's away. So some expensive school, and he gets in trouble and gets suspended. Meanwhile, while Anthony's been in school, his mom's been in school too, the school of love. She's been dating this guy named Leo for, I guess, roughly about 6 months. He doesn't know that she's been lying about Anthony knowing about him. Anthony's due home soon, and she's getting nervous because she's like, okay, now I gotta tell my son that I've been dating somebody. So finally, Anthony comes home and he finds out that his mom been bumping uglies with this new man. And of course, he's upset. He's like, oh, you're picking him over me. He's just being bratty. I'm like, dude, that's her business. She can date who she wants to date. I do think it's kind of weird that he's so interested in what his mom is doing in her personal life, but that's what's going on. Now, here's where the movie gets kind of wonky. This movie does something where it does a bunch of flashing backwards and flashing forward. So at this point, we flash forward to 3 weeks later, I guess around the time where he was kidnapped, bound, and gagged in the woods. And it flips back and forth constantly. And it's kind of confusing if you're not paying attention. You have to pay attention with this movie. And in the future, the person that kidnapped Anthony, they're on the phone with his mom demanding cash, and she better not do anything or they're gonna hurt him. And so instantly we go back to the past. Anthony runs into one of his old friends he went to school with, and they start kind of hanging out. And Anthony finally meets Leo. They're having dinner. The dude talking all type of trash. He's being disrespectful, asking questions that's not even his business. And at this moment, I kind of realized what this movie is about. I guess it's about Nepo babies. And he's still complaining and has opinions about stuff that he shouldn't even be concerned about. His mom finally found love and is finally getting her back blown out the right way. He's not happy about it. I mean, you understand that sometimes it's a shock, so you have to adjust. But he's going too far. He's being over the top disrespectful. And he actually starts to plan to sabotage his mom's relationship. Crazy, right? This is where the movie really starts flipping back and forth, like back, forth, and forth. It just keep moving back and forth. It's very confusing if you're not paying attention. Thankfully, there's not a lot of characters in this movie, so it's kind of easy, and everybody looks very different. So it's easy to keep up with it. But in the future, we find out that his friends are the ones that actually kidnapped him. And then we go back to the past again. And we see Leo moving into the house, and Anthony, he is just not happy about it, being a little bitch. Now, you're going to have to forgive me if I'm not keeping up with all the details, but at this point, we go back to the future again. Constance is at the bank with Leo, and they're getting $100,000 out. Now, we go back to the past again. Anthony is trying to torpedo the relationship. He contacts Leo's ex as if it was Leo, saying, I miss you, I want to get back with you, and gave her the address to the house. And so this lady shows up. And she look a little crazy. I can see why he left. Constance answers the door. The ex gets pissed off and she starts freaking out and tearing up the flower bed. I mean, it was kind of funny, I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, damn, that's messed up. And old boy, he like in the background, like, yes, my plan is working. It's like, dude, leave your mama alone. Like, why is you trying to destroy her relationship? It's so crazy. So he tries that. Of course, Constance is upset about it. And Leo's like, I had nothing to do with this. I don't know what's going on. And he's like confused. He's like, what in the hell? I don't deal with her like that. We don't talk. We don't have any connection. And so, oh boy's plan is working a little bit. So Constance is like looking at him like, so back in the future, Leo spots one of the kidnappers. and he follows the kidnapper, and he leads him to the area, the secluded area where they're holding Anthony. And at the same time, he's tied up, but he found a knife, and he's like slowly cutting himself free. The other guy, because there's two guys, he doesn't see him untying himself, so he's like slowly untying himself. So now we go back to the past again, and I guess contacting the ex didn't work because he's still there, and he's like, man, I gotta come up with something else. And so Anthony takes brake fluid out of Leo's car, and he puts a bottle of alcohol in his car underneath the seat. There's some dangerous stuff. It's like, dude, you trying to get rid of him or you trying to kill him? Like, you doing some felony type shit. Leo goes out in his car, his brakes doesn't work, he ended up crashing, has to go to the hospital, and he ended up getting in trouble because he had alcohol in his car. The cops found that. It's like, dude, you could have killed somebody. That happens, and Leo's like, I don't know, I wasn't drinking, and who had access to my car? So he's kind of like thinking, like, I think Anthony is messing with me. And Constance is like, no, he wouldn't do that. He's a good kid. He's a little confused, but he wouldn't do that. That's dangerous. That could have killed you. And he's like, I don't know. And he's not trying to turn his mom, Anthony's mom, against him, but he's like, my car was at your house and nobody else had access to it except y'all. And she's like, well, maybe it was your ex. And he's like, I don't know. So, and she's in denial because that's her son. I get it, you know? So with all this going on, she finally gets to the point, Constance finally gets to the point where she like, Leo, we need to talk. He's like, oh man, what's going on? She was like, well, with everything going on with Anthony, he's been acting out. He says he doesn't want to go back to school. I think I made a mistake by letting you move in here. And he's like, what the hell, lady? I broke my lease. You know, it's like, what are we doing here? She was like, I just need time. I need to focus on him to get him back on track because he's all I got and all this stuff, and I love him. She kicks him out. And side note, fellas, if any dudes watching this, don't move in the house with no woman, especially if she got kids living there. Just don't do it. It's not worth it, man. All the stuff, it's just not worth it, man. Don't put yourself in that position. Live separate, have a good relationship. I don't care how much it costs you. It's gonna cost you more to move in that house and try to squeeze your ass in with her kids and her lifestyle, because her lifestyle is already established. I'm not saying it can't work, but if you can just do what y'all doing without living together, stick to that way. That's just my advice. Been there. Well, you know what? I never did that, but I've seen it happen a bunch of times. So anyway, what they say, the juice is not worth the squeeze. It's too much work, man. It's very hard, and it has so many loose ends when you do that. You put yourself in a very, very bad situation. So don't do it, fellas. Don't do it. So he's kicked out. So some kind of way, Constance, she finds out that Anthony did send those emails to Leo's ex, and she confronts him about it. He denies it at first, and then he admits it, and she's like, bruh, what the hell? Like, why would you do this? Why would you do this to my relationship? I thought you loved me and all this stuff. And then he didn't realize much to say. And she was like, did you do that to his car? And he's like, no, I didn't do that to the car. So he's still lying about one thing. He gave her one thing, but he's still not saying he did the car thing. The car thing is a big deal. That guy could have got killed or very seriously hurt. So he denies that. And so she's like, I can't believe this. You need to apologize to him. He agrees to apologize. And you kind of feel like, okay, maybe everything's going to be all right. Nope. So now we go back to the future. Anthony finally gets loose and he goes to running off. It's like a weird little chase they're having. It kind of doesn't make sense because Anthony is the one that has the knife, but he's running from the guy, and it's just the guy there by himself. And Anthony looks like he can handle himself. He don't look like he's no pushover, and he got a knife, so I don't know why he's running. But he is. And eventually the guy catches up with him, and they go to fighting, and Anthony ends up stabbing a guy on the side of the leg. And then Anthony runs off again. It's like, dude, you got a knife. Probably can stab him again, I guess. I don't know. But why are you running? It's just you and him, and he doesn't have a weapon, clearly. So that was kind of strange the way that happened. So now we go back to the past again. Go back and forth. Back to the past again. And Anthony comes up with another plan. I'm like, I thought we was good. You know, he admitted to his mom. He said he apologized to a boy. But he's still trying to come up with plans. I'm like, dude, you don't know when to quit. It's like you almost killed a guy. Now so he come up with another plan. This new plan is so stupid. He's telling, okay, it's kind of hard to explain. He wants his friends to break into the house while they're out of town, take whatever they want, and then he has these cell phones where he's gonna make it look like Leo set up somebody to break in their house to steal her stuff. Leo don't look like he broke. He don't need her stuff. And so that's the plan. And even the friends, they're like, man, this is a stupid ass plan. Like after Anthony is gone, it's like, we're not doing that. The other guy's like, I got a better plan. What we should do is we should kidnap Leo without him knowing and then ask for a ransom. So that's how we end up getting kidnapped by his friends. One friend, well, one is really his friend, one is the friend of a friend. So the one guy, he's like, man, I don't know. He's like, man, you know, we got to do this. This rich guy, he has all this stuff. He's using you and all that. So he convinced them to go along with it. And so while they're out of town, they show up and they kidnap him. And I don't know how they kidnapped this dude without him making more noise. Like they just grabbed him and it seemed like he could have put up more of a fight and made more noise, did something. This guy that's not even that much bigger than him, if even bigger than him. He grabbed him by his mouth. This is a young, scrapping man, and he was able to drag him away by himself, and he couldn't make any noise. That was kind of weird. That was ridiculous. But that's what happened. And so that's how he ended up gagged and bounded in the woods. So now it seems like the timelines are starting to even out. So this is where it kind of gets a little silly. They're in the woods, and Leo shows up, and he's looking for him too. And so they end up having this confrontation. And out of nowhere, the guy that was fighting Anthony, all of a sudden he has this knife. This random knife just popped up out of nowhere. Like, where's this knife come from? It wasn't there the whole time, but they don't explain it. The guy, his name is Booth, whatever. The guy, the bad guy, he's there with Anthony and Leo. And they're like, he's trying to turn Anthony and Leo against each other. And I'm like, guy, you lost the plot because your plan was to get money from this family. If Anthony kills Leo or Leo kills Anthony, what do you get out of this? It just didn't make sense. Like he gets nothing out of this trying to get these people killed and cause all this confusion. It's like the plan is over, just run and go home. But he tries to convince him. It doesn't work. Leo end up getting in a fight with the bad guy, and Anthony runs off, but then he comes back and he tackles the guy, and eventually the mom shows up. The strong 90-pound mom shows up. She takes a little brick and whacks him across his head, and it doesn't knock him out. That's good, because usually it'll knock you out, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. At least he was just sitting there holding his head, rolling around, just like Leo was over there holding his head, rolling around. They just all stuck in place. It was just kind of silly the way it ended. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if somebody went to jail. I don't know what would they prove. I don't know how that played out, because like the stuff that Anthony did, he should be going to jail. So I don't know if they just said, okay, let's just forget about it, act like nothing happened, and we all go our separate ways. They didn't show all of that. So they was all hugging in the end, and I guess Anthony and Leo, they're finally getting along good, you know, the happy ending. And he goes to college, and they're like best buddies now. And they do mention that he's going to therapy, but it's like, nah, he needs to be in jail for trying to kill a little boy by taking the brake fluid out of his car. That's a felony. Like, what the hell? And I don't know what happened to the friends. They should be in jail too. So I don't know. The ending was really weird and wonky. So yeah, this movie was kind of, it was all over the place. It wasn't one of my favorites. It was confusing me for no good reason. And I felt bad for the look, don't try to be, this stepdad business, that dude went through a lot of trouble just to be a damn stepdad. I don't know if it's worth it, man. Just wait until the guy gets a little older, where he's totally out of the picture, and then get with the mom, because trying to do all that, man, that's too much work, man. All of that just to be a stepdad to an 18-year-old grown man. You damn near getting killed. You getting a ransom. All kind of weird shit happening to you. Your ex-girlfriend showing up causing problems. It's like, dude, just to be in this woman's life, bro, just wait, man. Don't date her at all. It's ridiculous. So anyway, that's the movie. This movie was okay. It didn't really have a lot. And what's the worst part about the movie is, the name of the movie is Mama's Little Murderer. Nobody died. He didn't murder anybody. He was trying. But the stuff he was doing, it didn't even seem like that was really in his character. Like, his character didn't seem that over the top to be doing evil stuff like that. But that's what he did. Maybe he's a sociopath or a psychopath. I don't know how that works. But yeah, nobody died. Nobody was murdered. So I don't know what the title of the movie is. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. Maybe they saying he's a little murderer, like he was a killer or a go-getter. I don't know. But it didn't add up. So anyway, if I had to rate this movie from a scale of 1 to 10, this movie got to be like, it's like a 3. It wasn't that good. I don't think it's worth watching. It forces you to pay attention because of all the jumping around with the timeline, but it really wasn't that good. Acting wasn't bad. The acting wasn't so bad for the most part, but yeah, the movie itself, it was not a good movie. So I don't recommend it. And that's my review of Mama's Little Murderer. Anyway, I will catch you on the next one. Talk to you later.